All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay in your cocoon, stay self-quarantined. We got you covered today. You're about to meet Mr. Pat Hayes from San Antonio, Texas, a model father, husband, agent, and agent attractor here at Corona-free EXP Realty.
Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it.
And I do guarantee it, and I guarantee we're from Prosper, Texas, live with you on Cliff's Notes today. And my friend Trelvis is manning the ship there at Lincoln Center. How are things in Dallas, Trelvis?
Oh man, everything is everything, man. I would say everything is good, but I don't want to put too much on it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man. I've been watching the news. You can see it's on behind me, and I was starting to get depressed. So I wanted to have a little bit of humor in the show today. Everybody's, we got to stay on the right side of this thing, and it's just things are popping up in the news. One of my favorite restaurants here, the Keeper in Plano at Chops of Legacy, just announced that they're temporarily closing and stuff. And we're praying for all those people that are whose jobs are in jeopardy right now. I understand it could be as many as 500,000 just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'm just heartbroken about what's going on, and I just want all you folks out there listening to know that we're thinking about you and caring about you.
Definitely.
I do want to break a little. I do have a little more, a couple more things I want to talk about before we bring Pat on, Trelvis. And
sure.
This stuff has been keeping me up late at night, and you probably notice. I sometimes I get right under my eyes here. I get these bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my wife, I bought this real expensive stuff, and gosh, man, it comes in these little bitty tubes, and I mean, you can't use more than just the head of a needle is all you do, and you put it on your eye and stuff. And my wife said, well, wait a minute, what? Hold on, I got something in my cabinet here that you can try. Well, why don't you give this a try? It might save a little money. So she reached in and she grabbed this yellow box here, and she said, just take it and put a little bit of it. Same thing. Just take it and put it under your eyes.
Sure.
So no kidding. So last night I took this stuff and I thought, well, I'll give it a try, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was the applicator, like to put it. I thought it was like for eyes and stuff.
God.
I don't think that's what that's intended for. Okay, but I did, and I put this stuff on my eyes, and sure enough, it felt really kind of like it was tightening up and stuff. But like an hour later, it was like it didn't work and stuff. So there's a show on Channel 4, I think, called Deal or Dud on the news. They do that little segment.
Right.
If you're thinking about using this for getting rid of wrinkles anywhere else than it was intended, it's a dud. I'm going to tell you that. Okay? All right. So enough about that. And Pat, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. That was not a very good segue to your part of the show here, my friend. But I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This young man right here is one of the finest people that I've ever met. I've got nothing but praise to sing this guy. He's got an incredible story. He's an entrepreneur. He walks with an entrepreneur's limp like I do. And I'm so glad and excited to have you on the show, Pat. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Cliff. Thanks for having me.
And you know what? I know you very well. I know there's a lot of folks in the audience who know you, but you've got a really interesting story, and I want to go ahead and dive into it and just give folks an opportunity to get to know Pat Hayes as he was. Tell us about what life was like growing up. What was your family like when you were young, Pat?
Yeah, great question. So I've got an older sister that's 4 years older than me. I'm live here in San Antonio. Grew up here in San Antonio. Went to elementary school here in San Antonio. Went to middle school and also went to high school here in San Antonio. and then went off to college to Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. Met my beautiful wife, Angel Hayes, and we actually reside here in San Antonio. And with EXP, I actually got her out of corporate America. We met there in college. We've got 3 beautiful kids. We've got twins, Cade and Kinley, that just turned 10 last week. And then also we've got a little baby boy. I call him a baby boy. He's 8 years old now, Kaysen. And the twins are in 4th grade. And our little baby boy, Kaysen, is in 2nd grade. And with all this coronavirus scare going on, they're actually at our condo down in Rockport. So I've got a quiet house here, and I'm babysitting the dogs here.
Wow, that's amazing. And I've had the pleasure to meet your wife and you on a number of occasions. We spent a little time down in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta recently. Again, we've been to Mexico a few times. Boy, you have so many people that look up to you, and you're such a leader. Pat, tell us a little bit about, there must have been something when you were in those formative years that helped create the DNA that is now Pat Hayes. Is there anybody in particular when you were younger who influenced you? Did you have a coach or a teacher who really just touched you?
Yeah, it was really my father. And, my father's my CFO of my real estate company. And a little bit about my background. I did the whole traditional, go to college, go make mom and dad happy and go get that degree, then go out and, go get a job in corporate America. And so I did so. I went to college and went to Texas State and graduated there and went off into medical sales and, got my first job here in San Antonio in medical sales and, kind of climbed the ladder there for about 6 years in corporate America and really got burnt out of that. And, in college, I, had my own landscaping company and, really just had that entrepreneurial mindset. And, I really got it from my dad because my dad worked for corporate America for almost 30 plus years. He was the CFO of a lot of major companies here in San Antonio. And, I always wanted to, I always wanted to be the man and not have to work for the man. And so, of course, I had to start off my career, working for the man and, in corporate America and just got burnt out of that rat race of 6 years of medical sales, made a lot of great friends, made a lot of great money, but got burnt out. And after 6 years, I went to my dad and I said, I'm done with corporate America. And at the time, he was a CFO of a senior home care company here in San Antonio called Caring Senior Service. And I had the opportunity to leave corporate America and buy an underperforming a senior home care agency from the corporate office there. And so that was actually up in Austin, Texas. And I bought that just as an investment, was able to get me out of corporate America and, bought it for $50,000, got a little small business loan from my dad. And it was an underperforming office. And I grew that office for 3 years, took it from about $250,000 in annual revenue to about $1.3 million in annual revenue in 3 years. And, I basically managed it, had a full staff. Basically I did the marketing and grew the company. And after 3 years, I was kind of burnt out of that. And I wanted to go to the next thing. And so I ended up selling it, made a great profit, ended up buying it for $50,000, sold it for $350,000 3 years later. And then wanted to get into real estate. I had my license since 2007. I was doing farm and ranch kind of part-time while I was doing medical sales. And of course, whenever the market, tanked back in 08, 09, like right whenever I was getting my license, I was, selling a few farm and ranches there while I was doing medical sales. And then, whenever I bought that senior home care company, I really focused my whole time doing that. And then whenever I sold it, I wanted to get back into real estate, but on the residential side. And so I had a good friend of mine here in San Antonio kind of partner me up with and introduced me to some boutique brokers here in San Antonio. And so I ended up hanging my license with them at the end of 2013 in November. And then between selling that senior home care company and parking my license with that boutique brokerage firm, I was a private investor for a startup, a digital media marketing company here in San Antonio. Within about 6 months, I had lost over $300,000 in my investment. And so that's whenever I knew I did not want to go back to corporate America. I wanted to make real estate work. And so that's whenever I just hit the ground running. And my first full year at that boutique brokerage firm was 2014. And as a single agent, I did about $3.2 million in production, really just hit the ground and took off, really found my passion selling real estate. And I wanted to go to the next level. And the only way for me to do that back then was to become a team leader. So I created the Pat Hayes Group. I hired 2 buyer's agents in our second year. We did $12.5 million in production, 61 transactions here in San Antonio. And at the end of 2015, in December of 2015, I got a life-changing phone call from my mentor and sponsor with EXP, Scott Lewis, wanting me to have an open mind to take a look at a new business model that was really changing the way that agents were getting compensated and also disrupting the real estate industry. And I saw the business model and I was blown away. I mean, I was just like, wow, this is the lottery. This is unbelievable. We can all go sell real estate anywhere, but with what EXP had to offer, with the revenue, with the equity awards, with the stock, since we're a publicly traded company, I said, this is a no-brainer. I don't want to be left behind, and I'm jumping in. And so literally 4 days later, after I saw the business model, I moved my whole team over from my boutique brokerage firm over to EXP Realty. And, since we're able to share this business model with like-minded individuals, I've been able to personally sponsor 42 agents to the organization. That's grown into over 2,400 agents now, spanning 45 states, 5 Canadian provinces, and Australia. So, man, we're having a lot of fun here. I know you are too.
Wow, that's and you got that whole story in a short period of time. There's a lot that went on in between the beginning and the end of that, and it's we coincidentally, if you caught last week's episode of Cliff's Notes, you saw Scott Lewis, who was on the show, actually living in Puerto Rico now. He's moved and from San Antonio and headed out to hang out on the beach and actually works out there all the time. I'm not making light of him living on the beach, but it's a great place to, if you got to work, it's not a bad place to work.
That's right.
So that's incredible, Pat. I mean, this is the typical kind of entrepreneur track. They say that the self-made millionaire has been broke an average of 7 times. And God, I know, I mean, there was times I couldn't rub 2 nickels together, and peanut butter and crackers was a delight. With a Diet Coke, that was a great meal. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, there are people out there that, I mean, we just tend to, when they look at us, they think that it's all easy. But what were some of the hard times like? What was it like? What kind of stress was it like on your family when you were down and at the bottom and clawed your way back up? What was it like back then?
Yeah, I mean, losing, any money is tough, much less, almost my whole investment that I got back from selling that company, over $300,000 in 6 months. That was painful, and it was tough, and so I knew that I didn't want to go back to corporate America because I just did not want that rat race lifestyle again. And so I said, hey, I'm going to make real estate work. And, I worked my butt off. I mean, I worked 7 days a week, 50, 60, 70 hours, a week. And yes, I missed out on, a lot of birthday parties and family events and soccer practices and baseball practices and swimming practices. And I did, but I sacrificed that, and I knew that, I had found my passion selling real estate my first year because I just loved it. And, second year grew. And then, whenever I found EXP and I saw this model, I said, man, this is a game changer. This is a no brainer. And, Scott Lewis told me, he said, hey, Pat, if you just put in, a good 2 or 3 years of hard work in sacrificing some, few small things, you will have financial freedom and time freedom as a realtor. And, my first 2 years in real estate, I had financial freedom. I was making a lot of money, but I had 0 time freedom. And now with the EXP model, I've got both. I've got time freedom and financial freedom. I love real estate. I'm not going to slow down. I love it. It's my passion. But I really, truly, truly, truly love growing a company that I'm a shareholder of. And I got that life-changing phone call from Scott Lewis, 52 months ago. And now I'm able to reciprocate that and give other agents life-changing phone calls. I'm able to help them get out of that rat race of real estate sales where I was my first 2 years, and so it's an unbelievable, it's an unbelievable feeling to feel, what I felt, whenever I was down in the dumps, and then, where I am now. And so, it's a lot of fun, just like what Gene Frederick says, EXP is making real estate fun again. And I'm so glad that Scott gave me that life-changing phone call.
Yeah. I got that same phone call from Brent Gove, and, I take a knee every morning and thank the good Lord for that call. It was a life changer. And it's incumbent upon, us, to not be selfish about that. We've got to let other people know about it. I mean, that's one of Zig Ziglar's foundational training, sales training mantras is, you've got to, you have to tell people about it. And that's why we're passionate about what we talk about, Pat, for sure. You and I both talk with a lot of agents, a lot of real estate agents. What do you see that the EXP business model? What kind of problems is that solving for the typical real estate agent?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And in this industry, in our real estate industry, it's a fun industry, but it's a tough industry because there's really no exit plan. There's no exit strategy for these realtors. I mean, I love real estate, you love real estate, but I don't want to be, 90 years old putting a lockbox on the front door and a sign in the front yard because I didn't take advantage of finding a brokerage firm that offers me an exit strategy like EXP does. And so, whenever I talk to the agents, I ask him, hey, how much longer do you want to keep on selling real estate for? Or, hey, what is your exit strategy in real estate? And the typical realtor, they're only good as their last deal. And, whenever they close their last deal, they're out of business, so it's up to them how much longer they want to keep on selling real estate. And, the typical realtor really doesn't have a huge book of business that they could sell or sell their, sell their company name or their logos or whatever they've built. That's that the typical realtor just doesn't have that. They don't build up a huge database over time, and so they don't really have anything to sell or fall back on whenever they get out of this unbelievable fun industry. And so EXP, offers that exit strategy, that exit plan with the revenue share model, and then also with the equity awards in the stock as well too. And so, I like to just share, EXP with these agents and just show them kind of what I've done. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I had 2 years of real estate sales experience at that boutique brokerage firm, and now I've built over 2,400 agent revenue share organization with agents all across the country, and so if I can do it, I say, hey guys, anybody can do it. Let me help you. Let me show you how to do it. Let me prove the model to you. Let me help you, create a game plan, and let's execute that game plan. So whenever you, have a bad month or you want to maybe take the summer off or whenever you want to retire, you've got something to fall back on. And EXP actually, offers that with a revenue share model.
No, it's incredible. And, if you go back and revisit kind of the formative years of the company and what was going through Glenn Sanford's head when he came up with this idea of a cloud-based company, here we are, you and I are sitting at home right now because this god-awful virus is permeating the world. And this is a perfect example of why the new business model was necessary. Let's talk a little bit, Pat, about having an online cloud-based company. What kind of a difference does that make for agents in times like these?
Yeah, and right now it's kind of funny. A cloud-based office doesn't sound so bad after all now, right? A lot of agents were making fun of us and, oh, you are avatars in the cloud and it's a game show and Donkey Kong and this and that. And hey, look where we are now. Agents are flocking to us right now because their brick and mortar offices are shut down because they can't go there. And so with our model, we're the first cloud-based agent-owned brokerage firm, and our office is in the cloud. And so it's a great time for us to grow. And I'll never forget, whenever I first joined this company, I asked Gene Frederick, hey, do you think we're ever going to have a downturn in the market again? And will that affect EXP? He goes, Pat, we'll eventually have a downturn in the market. And you know what? It'll affect EXP on a positive way, because you know what? We're going to be the only one that has a cloud-based office, and we're going to explode. And so, I see agents out there kind of in panic mode right now. And, here we are still conducting our business. I'm getting ready to do a live lunch and learn tomorrow, Introduction to EXP Realty tomorrow with Brian Colhane, the co-founder, in his private EXP Cloud Office Team Suite. And so it's an unbelievable time for EXP. And, we've got other industries looking at Virbela. Since EXP owns Virbela, they're actually looking at, kind of partnering up and renting some office space there so they can keep on conducting their business. And so, EXP is definitely the future of real estate with our cloud-based a virtual office. And yes, I got a lot of I got made fun of a lot whenever I first joined EXP about the avatars and about the cloud-based office and this and that. And you know what? It doesn't sound so bad after all right now with this whole coronavirus scare.
Yeah, in fact, I just read about, for those of you who don't know, we had originally planned to have our shareholders conference in Orlando, April 20th through the 22nd. And the leadership decided, obviously, that was not appropriate, so we canceled it. But the great news is all we're doing is just moving it up online. So we're going to have a big party up in the cloud. And I think I had mentioned to the gang that if we can just add a couple of restaurants and bars up in the cloud, we'll have everything we need. So there was one of our good competitors, a great company, Berkshire Hathaway. Just a terrible thing happened. They just had a big event, and there were people who contracted the virus there and stuff. So this is a very extraordinary time, but it's a time when very extraordinary companies are going to really shine here, and that's what we were built for. I remember, if you look back in that 2007, 2008 timeframe when Glenn was percolating this idea, it really was to develop a company that would not only be sustainable through times like these, but thrive as well. And so every detail about the cloud and so forth, I couldn't believe the level of detail that went into planning the whole cloud-based environment. The reason why we don't have live people's faces on the cameras and we use avatars is because it would just take additional time for people to get dressed, get ready, put their makeup on, do their hair to go into the cloud. Now it doesn't matter. You can roll out of the shower, whatever you want to do, hop into the cloud, and you're with wet hair and your t-shirt on. It doesn't matter, and it saves all the drive time. And obviously now with the social separation and trying to stay, and my goodness, from an efficiency standpoint, it really is as a real estate agent, not having to drive into the market center to get access to world-class training and coaching, it's just amazing. Well, and Pat, you travel all over the country. You've got agents in 40, you said 46, I believe, out of 50 states and 5 Canadian provinces.
That's right.
I don't know. If you don't know EXP, people aren't going to be able to understand how in the world you can do that. You're in San Antonio, Texas, right? And San Antonio is known for the Riverwalk. It's really not known for, real estate powerhouses. And how do you get people in all different parts of the country and Australia from San Antonio?
Yeah, great question. And it's a beautiful business model. And let me just kind of share with you my numbers real quick again. So whenever I joined EXP in December of 2015, there was 5 EXP agents here in San Antonio. Now we have over 800 agents just here in San Antonio. And then nationwide, whenever I joined EXP December of 2015, I'm agent 806. And now we just surpassed 27,000 agents. And so I've been able to actually contribute to, out of those 27,000 agents, over 2,400 of those agents are in my revenue share organization from just introducing just 42 agents to the model in less than 52 months. And so that's not even one a month. And so basically, I just build relationships on social media. Of course, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, and just connect with agents and just build that relationship on social media. And, just have a private conversation with them and just ask them, hey, do you have a quick 2 or 3 minute business, do you have a quick 2 or 3 minutes for a business phone call? I would like to talk to you a little bit about this. And then that 2 or 3 minutes sometimes lasts, 20, 30, 40 minutes to an hour or so. And I just like to ask them a few questions, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, where are you at in your business? Are you at a 10? No. And they normally throw up. They're at a 6 or a 7. Oh my goodness. Why are you not at a 10? How can I help you? What are you looking for? And just let them just talk, and they'll just throw up on you. And, they're looking for more leads. They want to make more money. They want to eventually have a retirement plan, which, they've got kids going off to college. So that means they've got to work a little bit longer. And so I just kind of like to find their pain points. And then I can fix them with our EXP Realty model.
Well, Pat, I often hear comments about, well, EXP is just a bunch of recruiters. Nobody sells any real estate over there. What do you tell people when they say something like that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I say, yes, we are recruiting. We're recruiting some of the best. We're recruiting some of the best realtors, team leaders, and brokers. Like we just had, I know you found out, and I think these agents and this brokers following your RevShore organization, that huge boutique broker in the Arizona market with over 850 agents just came on board. Wow, that is huge. That is huge. Ricky Caruth just came on board. The #1 Remax agent in all of Alabama just announced that he just made his transition over to EXP. So yes, we are recruiting some of the top talent. And again, this is the reason why we're so excited about EXPs, because we as shareholders are attracting some of the best talent. We don't have corporate paid recruiters out there paid hefty salaries growing this organization. We as the agents are. And I'll tell you what, the reason why we're so excited is because, a lot of agents are going to be getting a huge revenue share check tomorrow, because tomorrow's revenue share payday. I'm going to be getting a nice one. I know you are too. That's what makes it exciting. And yet we're still selling real estate. Even with this downtime right now, I picked up over $3 million in business the last week from my sphere of influence. And yes, we're still selling real estate. And, for the revenue share model, a lot of agents are like, oh, you guys aren't sustainable. There's no way that the company is going to keep on having to pay out all this, these handsome, revenue share checks every single month. Well, you know what, guys, if there's no revenue share coming in, there's no revenue coming in, there's no revenue to be paid out. And so, guys, you got to take a look at our business model without, say no what you're saying no to. Take a look at this model, because it's an unbelievable business model. And, you have no idea how many agents tell me no, all you guys are doing is just recruiting. Yes, we are. You know what? We're excited because we're recruiting some of the best talent. And you know what? That pays off big time, because a lot of agents are going to be getting a fat revenue share check tomorrow.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, we love that day that comes. Usually it's around the 22nd, but that falls on a Sunday, I believe, this
That's
weekend.
Right.
And Gene, you mentioned Gene Frederick a couple of times. He was on the show a while back, and I had asked him a little bit about some of this misinformation that's going around and stuff. And he put it like this. He said, "Well, Cliff," he said, if you go into a Ford dealership to ask questions about your Tesla, the Ford dealer is going to have one opinion, and it's probably not going to be the right opinion. They're probably going to tell you that's a cheap electric car. You don't need it. They don't last long, and they'll tell you everything that's wrong with it. But the people that I know that own Teslas actually think they're pretty darn good cars. So you've got to look at the source of information, when you're asking these questions, and realize, from where that information is coming. So another thing that, Gene has this incredible way of taking hard stuff to understand and simplifying it, just like the model where he does his napkin presentation on 2 dinner napkins. It's crazy.
Yep.
Pat, we do have an audience of young aspiring realtors out there, and we always love to drop nuggets of value on them. What kind of advice or support can you share with a real estate agent right now who's looking at this environment that we're in? Potentially we could have unemployment as high, I've heard as high as 20% in the short term here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the real estate market. Let's face it. I mean, if we don't get these people back to work quickly, I don't know how they're going to qualify for mortgages. People are postponing things. So it really is a time of great uncertainty for a lot of these agents. Speak to these agents for us here, and let us know what's on your mind about how to get through this.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I know a lot of agents are out there. They're scared. They're in panic mode right now. But for me and for you, luckily, we've got the revenue share model, which pays us revenue share from agents closing transactions everywhere. So hopefully this this Corona scare lasts maybe a short time, maybe just a few more weeks, not a few more months. But yes, it is gonna, in fact, it is gonna scare a lot of people, and it is gonna hurt the market, no doubt about that. But really just thinking outside the box, getting creative. Now you might have to start working with motivated sellers that really need to sell. Keep on doing the open houses if your board's going to let you. I'm not sure if the Dallas board, but I've heard the Austin board of realtors is going to start shutting down open houses. But whenever we're able to get back out there and start doing open houses, get out there, get into the homes. That's how I created my business and started my business, was doing open houses 7 days a week with a production builder, Ryland, back in the day. And so get creative, keep on pounding the phones, call your sphere. Ask them if, how they're doing, touch base with them, and get creative and, hand out business cards. Don't be that secret agent. There's a lot of agents out there that don't take the opportunity of getting creative and, simply handing out business cards, letting the consumers know that, hey, I'm a top realtor here in San Antonio. I know we're going through a hard time right now, but if you're needing to sell, here's my card. Here, take a few of my cards, because if you know somebody else that might need to sell, let them know that I'm here to help them. And so really just getting the word out that you're a top agent, you're a top realtor out there, and don't be that secret realtor that doesn't wear their name badge out there, that doesn't hand out business cards. I carry business cards in my pocket every single time I leave the house, because you never know whenever somebody's going to want a business card. And so, just getting creative and just, you might have to, start working, some extra hours. Don't be afraid to work. You might have to, maybe work a little bit on Saturdays and Sundays now to get through this. But, this is going to be a tough time for us all, but if we all come together, we'll all get through this. And, I don't know how long it's going to last, but, I'm glad that, I don't have all my eggs in one basket here in San Antonio. I've got agents all across the country selling real estate. So if it affects San Antonio a little bit worse than, a different market or whatnot, we've still got agents all across the country selling real estate.
Well, that is great. And, the whole point of the revenue share is that, you have something to fall back on. That's really true. I might just add and kind of, expand on what you were talking about. Now's the time to double up on lead generation. If you're spending 2 or 3 hours a day lead generating, your potential clients are at home right now. You need to be on the phone all the time. Being at home saves you a lot of time because you don't have to drive anywhere. I know the kids are at home if you have young kids, but you've got to get on the phone and double up on your leads. Now's the time to do it. The other thing is that you've got to stay in constant communication with your customers. They're expecting you to lead the way for them, and you've got to be on the phone with them constantly. I mean, we should all be on the phone twice as much now as we were before this crisis hit. Do not cocoon. Do not go dig yourself a hole and pull the sheets over your head. Be a leader. Be a leader in your community. If there's anything that you can do for people, maybe there's some unfortunate people that are in your area that may not, now they've been laid off. For gosh sakes, get out there, go open up a tab for them at the grocery store. Tell them, give them your card. Say, here, go buy dinner for your family and stuff. But be that leader that people will look up to and respect. I mean, we've got to keep the panic level in our business down because, I mean, just think about, what potentially could happen if all hell broke loose. And it's not going to, but, people get very emotional in these times. And we've got to bring that rational, that logical thought process to this whole thing. I mean, if you look how much the stock market has sold off, and who cares at this point, but it's in many people's opinions, it's way overdone. But at the end of the day, we're going to get through this. We all are, as a tribe, as a nation. Whether it's like the president said, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter at this point. We've got to rally together and get through this. And as leaders, already leaders in our community, we've really got to step up and play the role that we were, designed for here. So, well, Pat, you're, like I said, I've followed you. I'm so impressed with your progress here. What do the next 3 years look like for you? I mean, you and Angel, I mean, what give us a little look-see into what your vision is for your family, and tell us about what your vision is for the company here.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Great question, And I'm a young guy here, getting ready to turn 40 years old this November. And, I'm not looking to go anywhere. I'm not looking to slow down, really. I'm looking to kind of ramp up. want to keep on selling real estate, want to get into eventually, maybe start building some houses, some spec houses, flipping houses as well too. And then also keep on growing my revenue share organization. It's a lot of fun to see this company grow, where I've seen it from 800 agents to now 27,000 agents. And so, I hope, and I was at a leadership event with Glenn Sanford in Vegas of last year in August. And Glenn said, hey guys, in the next 10 more years, I think that EXPs could have 400,000 agents and doing business in over 40 plus countries. And you know what? I'm not stopping until we hit those numbers. And so I can't wait until we hit those numbers. And again, there's a lot of other great organizations out there. KW, Gary Keller's built a phenomenal organization out there, 175 plus thousand agents there. I can't wait until we surpass that. I can't wait until, we, hit 200,000 agents, 400,000 agents. I know Brent Gove always says, he thinks that one day we're going to have over 1 million EXP agents. And that's going to be so much fun to watch and witness that. And so, the next 3 to 5 years, it just put my head down and just still doing what I'm doing, still attracting agents, still traveling across the country, doing presentations. Yes, corporate has, told us to shut down all of our live presentations. I was supposed to be up there with you in Dallas live, doing the show today, and then also doing a lunch and learn or a happy hour with you and all the Dallas agents, and we had to cancel that. But once things get a little bit better here with this coronavirus, I'm going to be hitting the road again and doing presentations and just growing this amazing company and helping change agents' lives.
Well, that's awesome, Pat. And we're keeping the light on for you here in Dallas, and as soon as we get past this little speed bump, we're looking forward to having that get together with you again and just packing the house down. I know a lot of people are going to look forward to having you come visit, and we always welcome you here with open arms. You're such a great awesome speaker and really a great motivator. So, wow, it's hard to believe that time is slid by this quickly, but we're at the kind of at the end of the show here. Pat, is there anything that I didn't ask you that maybe I should have before we take off?
No, a lot of great questions there, and hopefully I answered them correctly. I know sometimes I like to go a little long and go on a tangent and go a little over, but no, I appreciate you letting me come on the show and be your guest, and I just respect you too. You're doing a lot of great things up there in Dallas. You're doing a lot of great things for the company, and you're passionate just like I am too, and I look up to you as a mentor and as a leader as well too. So. Anything that I can do, I'm here to help you, and I know you're here to help me as well too. And that's kind of what we're building here. One team, one dream, Team EXP, and we're all in this together.
Absolutely. And just at closing here, agents, if you are in despair, and look, give us a call. We're here to help you guys too, and ladies. And Pat, what's the best way for somebody to reach you if they wanted to just have a conversation
Absolutely.
with you?
Yep. Anybody can call me anytime on my cell phone number. That's area code 210-693-8711. So 210-693-8711. Here to help and serve everybody.
Okay, super. And if you want to hit the comment section on my timeline on Facebook and drop that information in there, that'd be great too, Pat. Well, thank you again so much for being here. I'm really excited. I hope we get together in Scottsdale in May at Brent's deal, and then obviously Dallas. Tony Robbins is going to be here. That's going to be awesome. August 20, I think it's the 27th to the 29th, I believe. But it's so great to see you again. Sorry we couldn't do this interview in person, but you guys stay safe there in San Antonio, and folks in the audience, I want you to know we're praying for you guys and praying for a quick end to this, and we will get through it in this industry, and we're going to come back stronger than when this thing got started. So you guys have a great rest of your week. If you need anything, just holler at Pat or me, and we'd love to reach out and help you. You guys have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next week on Cliff's Notes.
Awesome. Thanks, Cliff.